Mr. Hank Lundy, thank you very much for being on theboxingbar.com. Thank you very much for being here and welcome.
Hey, no problem, man. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Day one, where were you born and raised?
Philadelphia, right in the street, the tough streets. I grew up in actually South Philly, spending most of my time in Southwest Philadelphia and, West Philadelphia.
And what was it like growing up there in West Philadelphia?
Oh, man. All parts, man. It was rough and hard. Yeah, I mean, you had to fight for everything.
What was it like there in your household growing up with all your brothers, sisters, and parents? What was it like growing up there?
Oh, it was just my mom. But growing up is kind of hard because, my mom was in and out the hospital. So, it was pretty much, rough dealing with that situation.
What were you like as a kid growing up?
Growing up, I got into a lot of fights, acted out in school. It was like I had so much on my plate, and the only way for me to, express it was, to act out, and I did a lot of fighting.
And what were you like as a student in school?
Oh, in high school, I was a big football star. But I did a little fighting in high school, but, I was actually a football jock. So, in high school, I did pretty good.
And how did you get into boxing? How did you go that route to go into a crazy sport like boxing?
Okay, well, my last year as a senior, I got into this fight with this guy. He's about like 25, I was 18. And I ended up knocking that guy out after school. He was bullying the kids, and, I ain't like that, So the guy was trying to get in the building. He bumped me, and, one thing led to another. And, we was fighting, and I ended up knocking him out. And I actually ran home and told my uncle. Ever since that, I've been in the gym fighting.
What was your career like as an amateur? Did you have a good amateur career or an extensive amateur career?
Yeah, I had a real good amateur career. My amateur record, I was 60 wins and 5 losses. Every time I fought at the Olympic Training Center, everybody followed me to the ring because I was a fighting fighter. So my amateur career was good. I started at the age of 18. In 2 years, I was fighting at the Olympic Training Center. I was rated, actually, in 2 years, I was rated at number 7, number 5 in the world in the amateurs.
Is it important to have an extensive amateur career growing up before becoming a professional?
Well, you know what? It's good to get experience, but at the end of the day, you don't need all the amateur fights because if you look at most of these fighters now, they are burnt out once they get in the pro rankings. It's like, what do you have left? So, in my self-opinion, you really don't need that much amateur experience. It will help, but you really don't need it because at the end of the day, by you staying in the amateurs so long, it take a lot out you for the pros. If you look at most of these guys now that coming up, they've been in the amateur and had a long amateur background. They really have a long amateur career because of the amateur fights.
Coming out of a place like Philadelphia, that's a legendary place where a lot of big-time fighters came out of, like Joe Frazier came out of there, Mildred Taylor, and even a movie like Rocky was made out of a person that came out of Philadelphia, as far as a movie. But, you come from a legendary place like that. Do you ever think about that when you go in the ring or when you started hitting the gym when you were young?
Yeah, well, like the city alone, we had a lot of greats that come out the city. So, right now, I'm building my own legacy. And, at the end of the day, by me fighting and I'm labeled as a fighter, by the time it's said and done with it, I painted my own picture. See, at the end of the day, I don't want to live behind somebody else's name, And what they did and all the greats, I let that be my motivation to help me to try to build my own identity. And that's what Hammer and Hank is doing today.
Going into the pro ranks, let's say your first professional debut, what do you remember about it, getting to the arena that day, making that transition from an amateur fighter to a pro fighter? What was your first day like, going through the curtain that first day?
Oh, man, I was ready for it. I've been ready for the headgear to come off. I was excited. I couldn't wait to hit somebody or get hit to see what it felt like without the headgear. So I was really hyped and, prepared, to get on a big stage and turn pro.
At that early of a stage, what type of fighters, what were some of your favorite fighters growing up?
Watching, first and foremost, my favorite fighter was always, and who I love to watch 24/7 was Sugar Shane Mosley.
Why him, and how do you relate to him?
At that time, Sugar Shane had fast hands, could punch. He was exciting when he was down at 135, 140. And, also, I can't forget about the late Roy Jones. Like, they were the entertainers in the game, and I love them guys to death.
Just this past Friday, you fought Danny Williams.
Yeah.
Everybody knew that was going to be a tough fight for you. Everybody knew that Danny Williams was this undefeated guy coming up. What do you remember about getting that fight with Danny Williams? How excited were you going into that fight?
Oh, I was ready. Yeah, I was ready for the fight. I wasn't really worrying about him. Like I told everybody, I was 4 killers in there, and this fight, don't be surprised if it be me teaching him some things in the ring. Like I know at the end of the day, you look at his resume, like who has he fought? He hasn't fought nobody. I wasn't impressed with his record, so he knew who he fought. So at the end of the day, I was ready to go.
First round, you were in there right in the first maybe minute and a half, first half of the round. Me and my girlfriend were here watching it on ESPN, and right away I go, "Who do you think's going to win this fight?" You guys were going all out. She thought you were going to win. Right at that point, I remember he dropped you down. While you were on the floor there, were you hurt, or was it just a flash knockdown that your glove just happened to touch the floor?
Yeah, like at the end of the day, it was a flash knockdown. Like my glove touched the ground. I didn't go down. It's like my glove touched the ground. And at the end of the day, like I told him this. Okay, you this big puncher, but what happens when you hit me and I bounce right back up? Where's your mind frame at? I've been down on canvas before. I've been here before. So it wasn't a big thing to me because I knew what I was going to do when I get back up.
When stuff like that happens, first round, you get dropped. It brings a lot of drama and excitement to the actual fight, and that's why people remember fights like that.
Yes. Well, you don't go in there looking to get hurt or scripting for you to go fall down just to make a fighting fight. Like, he caught me with a good shot on the temple. And, most people say I don't got no chin, I'm chinny. But at the end of the day, the guy hit me in my temple, not my chin. And the right hand that he did hit me in my chin, he didn't do nothing. So, like, I tell most of these people, y'all have the wrong definition for a person to have a chin. Like, I've been hitting on my chin before, and, I never went down. Like, at the end of the day, I do have a chin, but I don't worry about what people say. Like I tell everybody, you get in the ring with me and you talk all this trash, like, at the end of the day, you got to back it up. He talked a lot of trash and he couldn't back it up. Like I said, everything that I say, I do. And I back all my trash talking up.
And you did exactly what the traditional Philadelphia fighter would do, is as the rounds went, you got stronger and stronger and better and better. You started adapting to the situation. You adapted well, and you ended up winning the fight at the end of the day. How did that make you feel when your name was called for the winner?
Well, at the end of the day, it's like what I've been telling people. Like, I've been telling people that I was good. You know what I mean? That I'm forced to be working with. And people didn't want to see it, and they didn't want to hear it or believe it. I'm a force to be reckoned with at 135. Like, and most of these people ain't want to give me my just due. I'm one of the best 135 fellas in the world. Now that I'm ready in the world, now the people want to believe it. But I've been telling people. But at the end of the day, I'm here to stay, and I will be fighting for a world title.
Did you ever feel that everybody was expecting you to lose to Danny?
But you know what? At the end of the day, that's how I go into every fight. I never go to a fight thinking that, I'm the guy that's supposed to win. That's why my fight, my heart, and my soul be into these fights, because to me, I'm always supposed to lose. And that's how I'm programmed when I go fight. At the end of the day, I'm not supposed to win no fights. I'm not supposed to do this and that. So on my mind, I got this in the back of my head that everybody want me to lose, and I come out and perform and do what I got to do. And first and foremost, my daughter's on my mind, my family on my mind. Like I tell everybody, I'm not fighting for me, man. I'm not fighting for self. I'm fighting for my family. So if that means me going in there and laying my life on the line, so be it. I will do it.
Did you at all feel like he might get the decision? Did you ever feel that, or were you pretty confident that you were going to win?
You know what? I was pretty confident, and I believe in God, and God had all things. So, like I said, I went out there and did what I had to do, and I beat him precisely. And after that, I just leave everything in God's hands. I know I got God covering me, so I didn't worry about it. But, I knew I won the fight, so I ain't worried about it. Hands down, the whole world seen it. And being as though it's on national TV, I had nothing to worry about. Like, everybody see what I did. I beat him hands down, so I didn't worry about it.
You were getting stronger instead of weakening down as the rounds happened. Like a true Philadelphian fighter, you did what you did, and you came out with your hands up. And what's your next step? Who's next?
Well, yeah, Mike, first and foremost, like, I had him beat ahead of time. Like, I told everybody, he said he don't do a lot of trash talking. At the end of the day, I beat him at his own game. What was he doing? He was on Twitter, Facebook, trash talking. So right there, I knew he was scared. His trainer, him, and his whole corner, matter of fact, they were talking trash. I knew they was worrying about me. Like, I wasn't worrying about him because I know at the end of the day, I'm going to go out there and do what I got to do. But I had him beat mentally already. Like, I seen him right before the weigh-in, and he put his head down and looked at his phone. I said, first of all, you was talking all this trash, and now you see me man to man, you can't look at me as a man? You're scared. Like, I have your heart already. So I had him beat way before the fight. All I had to do was do a physical.
Actually, I had Jack Lowe on here, his trainer. I had him on here about a month ago, and he brought up the fight. What do you feel about his, I guess, confidence in thinking that his guy was going to beat you?
Well, after the fight, you know, he walked up to me. He said, man, you a hell of a boxer. Like, I didn't know that you could fight that good. And, you know, at the end of the day, he for me, and he got beat bad. Like, I've been telling him, you know what I mean, from get-go, I'm one of the top 135 pounders in the world, and I ain't to be played with. So, and they found it out.
Now, what happens from here on? Who's under the microscope and who's next?
Well, you know, I'm rated number 2 in the WBC right now. The Norris, he just fought, and he got knocked out. So that leaves me right there in line for my mandatory fight with DeMarco. Like, I'm ready to fight for the WBC world title. Like, I'm next in line, so DeMarco has to fight me for that WBC world title. So, you know, I'm sitting and waiting to see if they're going to step up to the plate and fight me.
I'm from Oxnard, California. Brandon Rios trains out of here, of course. Would you want a fight like Brandon Rios or even Gamboa, who stepped up and came up in weight?
Yeah, well, I've been calling these guys out, and, you know, these guys, they scared to fight me. Like, they don't want to fight me. So it's like, I can't get them in the ring, but, you know, they scared to fight me. So all I can do is keep on winning and doing what I'm doing. I've been calling these guys out. Ain't nothing new to them. They know I've been calling them out, and these guys scared to fight me. They don't want to fight a fighter like me.
Hank, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for being here on theboxingbar.com, and I hope I can have you on before the next fight, man.
No problem. Just give me a call. I feel free to come on.
Again, thank you very much for being on here, and we got to do this again, man, and good luck to you and all respects to you, man.
No problem. Appreciate it.